got a Prelude back in the garage again. This time, oil leak. So before we start, this is the SH Prelude. We did a head gasket on this already. Head gasket, new valves and everything runs good. Now, find out that there's oil leak. So took the tire off. So this is the ATT S right there. That's where it leaks from. So all the way to the top of the block down to that piece right there. So we're gonna go inside more. Alright, we're under the vehicle. You can tell it's all over the place. I was expecting that by doing a research is above the cooler, oil cooler. There's O-rings and gaskets on that coolers, and there's that oil pressure up above, so that's where it leaks. That's what I was expecting. So we'll find out. It's hard to tell with all this mess. So took the axle on the driver's side. I can tell that's the filter up there. The leak is right there. That's a cooler. And there's a gasket right here, and there's an O-ring right there. So there's an adapter right there, cooler right there. We're gonna take out the bolts from the adapter to the block. All right, so this is what it look like. That's a mess in there. All right, so after taking the filter out of the adapter here, I used this socket 31, or you could use 30mm socket to take out that big nut in the middle. And this is what I used to ratchet. It's a flex head. It's pretty easy. And when I took that off, it was seems like it was easy to take that nut off. So after taking this nut right here, it was pretty easy. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to coming out of this corner here, so it's a lot easier for you guys to see. So this is the nut. I just did like a couple ratchet, and this thing just came off easy. So I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe that's where the leak's from. It wasn't tight enough. But while I'm here, I'm just gonna change the gasket. Okay. Back here on the driver's side again. So this should start coming out. It's like that. And you should have an O-ring that we're gonna replace. The O-ring is right here. Here's the O-ring. Yeah, it feels stiff. It might crack, you know. It's gonna crack pretty soon, but still okay. But I'll change that. So after the O-ring, and this is the bracket to the block. This is a bolt. There's 3 bolts that holds this bracket, so we're gonna take those bolts out. All right, so I'll show you where the bolts to take out. 3 bolts to take out this bracket. This is the bracket right here. Okay, so here's the 1 bolt, and then there's one up there, and then the third one is on the other side behind this thing right there. So best tool on this, it's a 12 mil. The best tool is this square open-end box wrench or just a round wrench. Just go, you know, easy on it, and then same thing on the top. Where is it? Way over there, right there. That's the one that's up. Just, you know, slowly, easy on it. So right now I'm just gonna take out the easy bolts, and then I'll do that. I'll do the other side after. I think I'm gonna use a socket, the one on the other side. It's gonna trying to videotape this to you guys while I'm doing it. I don't want to do like cut the video and then show you what I've done. Those are okay, but it just takes so long to videotaping it while I'm doing the job. So all right. It's tough doing this. I seen one that people do it from the top, not by the wheel well. So I don't know. I like this method by the wheel well, and sometimes work on the top. Almost done here. Just inch by inch spinning. There you go. That's a top bolt. Now the last one is on the other side, or way over there. So this is my idea right here. 12 mil, small little ratchet. I'm gonna take out the last bolt. I'll show you my setup right here. See that ratchet? That's the has to be pointed up so that you have room to ratchet this thing. And then there's a little small extension, like 2-inch extension, and the socket is right there. So just make sure move this up while you're ratcheting it, so that's easy for you to it's not hitting on anything. So, and this is hard to do it with one hand, so I'm just gonna show you guys after when I take out that bolt. Alright, to get you a lot of room, make sure push this cooler away from you. Just kind of like shove it on the hose, in between the hoses over there, so that it's not on the way instead of sitting here all the time. So push that away, and then just keep ratcheting it, just like this. Okay, just keep ratcheting it. So you can tell I got lots of room here. Just keep doing that. Alright, so finally it's out. It's right here now, boys. And you can tell there's moisture up here, so definitely it's coming out from this O-ring here, because from here and up is the head gasket, and I know that it's not the head gasket. So, and if I rub my finger around here, you can tell that it's flat. Like, it's just, you know, it's just flat. There's no rubber anymore, I can feel. And while I'm here, I might just not change. This sensor is good. I'm gonna reseal this sensor. This is oil pressure sensor. I'm gonna take it out, reseal it. Teflon tape in there, and we know that one's good. It's not gonna leak, and that's what the block look like. That's what the block. I'm gonna clean that. New seal, liquid tape. Here's the adapter. This is the old O-rings. Just trying to investigate this thing. You can tell that it just square off. It's not round anymore. I don't know, who knows how long this thing been in there. And this is the one on the cooler, like this. And I'm gonna reseal this oil sensor. And we got our new replacement O-ring already from Honda. That's this guy, and that's this one. And then on top of that, I'm gonna use this high temp sealant. What I use for this is, after when I put this O-ring in there, I'm gonna put sealant in here. Make sure that it's all sealed properly, and we're not gonna have any more leaks. This is just to make sure no leaks. That's why I'm using this. So this is it. We're gonna put everything back together. This is halfway of the videos. Gonna clean all this, clean all that, and clean the one on the engine side, and I will put everything back together. Alright, so after cleaning this bracket, put a Teflon tape on this sensor, new gasket, and then high temp red RTB on there. So just let it cure for a bit. It tells me on the instruction to let it sit for an hour, and after an hour you slap it into the vehicle, to the engine, and then bolt it down to spec, and then it's all good. So we're gonna have to cure that for a bit, and then while we're waiting, let's clean up the side of the block. Alright, so a couple of squirt of brake cleans and clean up all this extra debris and oil and dirt. Make sure that ports right there are clean, dry, clean towel, and that's all good. Make sure there's nothing that on that surface, like, you know, dirt, what else, sand, oil. Make sure it's dry, and it's all good. So we're gonna put the brackets in right away. Alright, so I got the bolts on the top and the bolts on the left side, and now I'm doing the bolt on the far right. And make sure you use your finger to spin this extension socket, and when it's bottom out, now you can use the socket ratchet to tighten this bolt. And after that, make sure, don't forget to connect the oil pressure sensor connector to the sensor, and that's on the corner on the other side of that bracket. Alright, so that's bottom out now, the bolts. So gonna use the ratchet to tighten this nut, that nut, and the one up there. So let's get to it. Alright, so it's all bolted down, the bracket, that 3 bolts. So now it's just we're now gonna install the cooler. So make sure the bottom of the cooler is clean. I spray some brake cleans around there, wipe it off, and then brake cleans again, wipe it off. Now I'm gonna use air gun to dry it off, and make sure there's nothing on there. That thing is dry, and no dirt, no dust, nothing. So we're gonna put the O-ring in there, and then we're gonna lock it down with a 30mm socket. Okay, I've been having a little trouble trying to get this O-ring stay behind the cooler and then sandwich it to this bracket. housing. When I'm trying to sandwich it, it just won't stay in the groove. It just won't sit there because of course it's O-ring, right? I tried to do the top side, kind of like holding it down while trying to move the O-ring to sit on the valley of this cooler, and then line it up and bolt it down, but it just won't go. Like, it just crooked. So I got this idea. I just lube up this O-ring with Vaseline, and I use Vaseline because I got this idea from this transmission guy at my work, and this is what he used. He had this Vaseline on his counter, and I'm like, what are you doing with that Vaseline? Like, is that part of the, you know, like install or assembly? Like, yeah, they said when he used valve covers, or when he used like transmission stuff, you know, O-rings, little tiny ball, or anything upside down, he used Vaseline so that the O-ring will sit properly. So I'm gonna try to try this method and see if it works. Alright, so it looks like it worked. The O-ring is there, right there. See that round O-ring with the Vaseline? So I kind of rub the Vaseline around the O-ring first, and then as much as I can, and then I just use one hand to work one side, and then work around it on the other side, and then sometimes I use two hands so it stays. So now it stays in there. This is awesome. You know, getting tips from other people is quite handy, and then you have to listen to what they say, and you have to try it. This is the first time I tried this with the Vaseline. He said Vaseline is a good way to use this for assemble, because when it doesn't stay there, you know, when the oil or heats up, it would evaporate, or it would turn to liquid, the Vaseline. So it's not gonna harm this Vaseline to the oil, or to the gasket, or to the rubber O-ring. This is what they use for many years, so I'm gonna give it a try. So now we're gonna line up this cooler. Here's a notch right here, and there's a notch, where is that? Right there. That notch sits right here, so that when you spin this big stud, the cooler is gonna gouge to this notch, and it's not gonna spin. It will be stationary together, and while you're spinning this stud, it's gonna be it's not moving. All right, so let's give that a try. Alright, we'll give this a try. One hand. Hope you can see it. Okay, try to press the cooler down towards the block, while make sure line it up straight, and press it down, and then while you're pressing it down, trying to spin this nut to lock it down in place. So I think I got it now. I can feel the tension of the nut when I'm spinning it. Sorry, I'm blocking the view here, but you can tell this is the cooler. Kind of wiggle a little bit, so that it's hard to see if if that o-ring is properly seated to the cooler. But the way how it was before, I think I'm confident that that o-ring is good. There, it's snug. It's snugged up there now, and I think I'm good with that. See this, there's that tabs right here, the thick tabs, and then there's skinny little tabs. Yeah, those they have to be meet together, and then when you're bolting it down, there's a nut right here. It's not gonna spin, so it's time to bolt it down. Use this 31 mil socket, or you could use 30. Just gonna use hand tight, and when it's really snug, I'm gonna use this ratchet. So this is what I use to tighten that center nut. It's just really bad area. This is the best I can do. I can't do it on the wheel well. So it goes in an angle like this, and just keep ratcheting it, probably about movement of 2 inches. Just keep ratcheting it like this. So nice and steady, but it gets done. So it's all in there now. She's all tight. Now we're gonna put the filter back on there, and then I think we could start it up because there's no axle. It's all good. We're not gonna go anywhere, so we're gonna start it up and let's see if there's any leakage. So we're gonna put the filter in now. Alright, the filter is up there now. She's all tight. Alright, we're gonna give this a try. Let's start up the engine and let's see if there's any leakage. Well, it looks good, man. There's nothing. There's nothing that I can see. Check the inside. Nah. No oil lights, so that's good. Alright, bring you back here again. It's been running for like, what, 10 minutes? And I think looks like it's a fix. I'm gonna try to keep an eye on it for the next couple days. I don't drive this car all the time. Once in a while, I kind of go drive it around on the weekend or around the block once in a while. But I'll give you guys an update, see what's going on. But right now, it seems it's okay. But like I said, I'll give you guys an update when I see something that it's not sealed. You can tell it's spinning here. This is cool. It's spinning. Alright, so this is a fix. I don't want to get this video too long. And if you want to help and subscribe, it's all good. You know, like the video, comments. And next time I'll do the same thing on a different job on this Prelude, and keep you guys update and help out other people out there. So hopefully this is a fix and it helps somebody on the same situation how I am right now. So thank you, and I'll see you again.